RetroDaze.
From 1972 till 1997, many of us had a particularly unforgettable experience on certain afternoons when we parked ourselves in front of the television after school. Whatever we were expecting to watch wasn't on, and instead, ABC preempted our regularly scheduled programming with the controversial after-school special. Now, although the topics themselves were controversial, what I really mean is our perception of these specials is controversial. Was the ABC after-school special unforgettable due to the high quality of production, or because of how laughable they often were? Were they unforgettable because of the sometimes traumatizing subject matter, or because of the cringe-inducing way they shoehorned morals and messages into the narrative?
Well, that's what we're here to figure out, so grab your favorite after-school snack and settle in for some unforgettable after-school specials. Although often used generically to describe any afternoon show dealing with socially relevant issues, it was actually the marketing team at ABC who coined the phrase after school special upon airing its first episode in 1972, Hanna-Barbera's The Last of the Curlews, which focused on animal extinction. Though the issues were often controversial, the late afternoon time slot was specifically meant to attract school-age children and their teens. Most years, the specials would air anywhere from 4 to 6 times, rather than on a daily or weekly basis, which gave them a special event feel. After-school specials on ABC were successful enough to lead to similar programming on both CBS and NBC. CBS came out with the CBS Afternoon Playhouse, later becoming the School Break Special, which began airing in 1980, and NBC started 5 years earlier with Special Treat. No matter which channel you preferred, the episodes all had a similarly tragic tone, and they broached touchy subjects that most kids probably didn't want to think about.
On the next ABC After School special, a lonely rainy night turns into a nightmare for Bobby. The accident wasn't her fault.
I gotta get to the hospital.
But when she runs from the scene, her nightmare turns into torture.
It was me.
And becomes the terrible secret.
Please don't die. Please don't.
Ooh boy, that is a lot of crying. I could just imagine getting home after a long day of school, grabbing a bag of Lay's chips only to turn on the television and hear, "Please don't die." Dang it, can a kid enjoy his chips without having to confront existential dread? Okay, maybe I'm just overreacting, but let's see what the synopsis says for this episode. I'm sure it's not as dire as the trailer made it out to be. She nearly killed a boy, and now she's praying that nobody finds out. Bobby's hit-and-run accident critically injured a young boy. Now she's too frightened to confess, but terrified she'll be caught. What would you do? Brought to you by General Foods and Three Musketeers Bar. The Terrible Secret aired on March 5th, 1979, to what I can only imagine was near universal acclaim. After all, the whopping 22 reviews on IMDb average out to a 7.2 out of 10 for the episode, and honestly, one can see why. The pivotal moment when Bobby, played by Linda Grosvenor, decides to flee the hospital after bringing the young boy in is played expertly, displaying fear and cowardice clearly as she slinks away without notice. Luckily, the nurses mistake her for a boy, so when police are interviewed for the news, Bobby discovers she'd potentially be in the clear.
Boy? They're looking for a boy.
Another classic Scared Straight style topic came up in the May 1st, 1985 episode, One Too Many.
Tonight.
I can tell you what happened.
Hey, Tim. That was just great.
Oh, how would you know? You're always too drunk.
Beth, what is your problem?
Nobody knew it was going to happen.
It was only some drinks until one mistake made it one too many. At 8/7 Central tonight.
Now, eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed two heavy hitters starring in this episode, Val Kilmer and Michelle Pfeiffer, both of whom had pretty big star power at the time. Michelle Pfeiffer had already starred in her breakout roles in both Grease 2 and Scarface, and though Kilmer's defining role in Top Gun was still a year away, he had both Top Secret and Real Genius, which came out months earlier, under his belt. With 138 reviews on IMDb, this one comes in with a 6.7 out of 10, and a consensus that despite being a bit short on plot, it has a straightforward message about drunk driving and a bit of a twist ending to boot. There are a few fun moments in this episode, in between the more dramatic stuff, like this scene that starts out with some slight horror vibes. Of course, levity is rarely the point of these shows, and before long we have yet another case of potential or vehicular manslaughter playing out on our 25-inch CRTs. Like, seriously though, what was it with kids just running into the middle of the street at night and standing there until they got hit by a car? The twist here is that Pfeiffer's character, Annie, decided to drive because she thought Eric, played by Val Kilmer, had had too much to drink. Annie thought she'd be okay. He had so much, but she thought she was fine. She thought she'd be okay.
I thought I'd be okay. He had had so much, but I thought I was fine. I thought I'd be okay.
Oh, come on, you guys. She was trying to help.
I was trying to help.
She didn't want him to drive. She was trying to help.
I didn't want him to drive. I was trying to help.
And she makes a really good point because... oh, wait. Okay, I think we're safe to take...
I thought I'd be okay. He had had so much, but I thought I was fine. I thought I'd be okay.
Right, maybe we should move on. Even though most of the series hinged upon these dramatic moments of real-world tragedies, the titles and scenes often came off as unintentionally comedic. Take such classics as The Day My Kid Went Punk, Daddy Can't Read, Stoned, and the perennial favorite, My Dad Can't Be Crazy, Can He? If the episodes live up to the titles, then we're in for a real treat. Let's check out the first one from this list to see how it holds up. That sparkly glitter sound when they reveal Terry's makeover is priceless. The episode first aired on October 21st, 1978, and sits at a pretty sad 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb with 109 reviews. The episode is about a teenage boy named Terry who returns home from a classical music camp having adopted a new punk rock identity.
Oh, this hotel is gorgeous. I'm so glad Cameron's desk became a few days early. It's like a real vacation.
I think the nursery's right down here.
Terry will be so surprised.
Terry?
Mom, Dad. I wasn't expecting you until Monday.
What are you doing?
You shouldn't play dress up with the children like this, Terry. It's not a good role model.
Yeah, a clown makeup would be more appropriate.
This is my new image.
What?
Well, this is the way I dress now. It's my new look.
What was wrong with the old one?
Didn't go with my new music.
Your music is different, too.
Although the episode deals with themes of prejudice, individuality, and stereotyping, some find the ending hinges a little too much on pleasing other people than remaining true to yourself. On the other hand, even though he ditches the makeup, Terry does continue dressing punk and playing rock music, so I'm calling that a win.
What?
My Dad Can't Be Crazy, Can He?, which first aired on September 14th, 1989, follows Nick, a teenager played by Will Wheaton, who begins to notice his father's troubling behavior. As his erratic actions escalate, Nick struggles with confusion, fear, and denial before finally confronting the painful truth. His father is suffering from mental illness.
Just told him to jump. He'd jump.
I understand that you have to do what they say.
Who are they?
What we have to do is behave as if everything is all right. He needs our support. He needs help. Daddy, I love you.
My dad can't be crazy, can he? Next.
Despite the somewhat humorous title, the episode does deal with serious issues like the emotional impact of mental health within a family, while making sure to also emphasize the importance of seeking help and support. The opening title card for the episode even reads, in part, that parents are encouraged to watch and discuss with their children, which honestly was probably good advice for most of these after-school specials, considering the subject matter. The opening goes a long way to establishing the seriousness with a fairly creepy scene.
Where is it, Nick?
Where's what? It's the middle of the night. What are you talking about?
They said they put a microphone in here. They said you were talking to them.
Them? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you drunk or something?
Drunk? No. No, of course not. I'm sorry I woke you up, Nicky. I must have been having a bad dream. Here, just try to get some more sleep, okay?
Besides the mildly humorous line, "Are you drunk or something?" the rest of the scene is played straight, and I can only imagine watching this as a kid and wondering what I'd have done if my father wandered into the room in the middle of the night asking about hidden microphones. Honestly, despite the middling rating on IMDb, sitting at a 6.6 out of 10, I find this to be one of the more watchable episodes, especially with a phenomenal actor like Will Wheaton in the lead. On the other side of the spectrum, though, is the Scott Baio-led episode Stoned, which aired November 12th, 1980.
Regularly scheduled programming will not be seen at this time, so that we may bring you an ABC after-school special. Stoned.
Today on the after-school special, Jack Mellon gets tired of being called a square and turns to a crowd that shows him how to be cool.
Look at him, smoking a month and Jack's a pro.
Temporarily, my problems just disappeared. Listen, but it wasn't worth it.
Super Stone Jack. But tell me something, who's the real Jack? Jack.
And Jack Mellon is going to discover the price of being cool.
Mike.
Stone, the ABC after-school special.
In this episode, we follow Scott Baio's character, Jack Mellon, a high school student who begins experimenting with marijuana. As these things go in after-school specials, what starts as casual use quickly spirals into dependency, affecting his school performance, relationships, and self-image because, you know...
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Classic. There's truly nothing quite like anti-drug programming of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The hysteria surrounding drugs was just as pronounced as the other parental freakout subjects like heavy metal music and violent video games. Meanwhile, kids of the time, with a clear vision of youth, mostly saw it all for what it was and realized none of it was worthy of the panic parents often displayed. And really, stuff like this was just funny to us.
Slower. Hold it. flunked that Spanish test.
Ah, yes, the ravages of marijuana. Laughing, too many snacks, and the dreaded bouts of dun-dun-dun laziness. Of course, the somewhat heavy-handed message comes a bit later in the episode when tragedy strikes and Jack Mellon has to stop smoking. Your tolerance of this episode will be largely based on how much enjoyment you get out of watching a young Scott Baio get stoned.
With a whopping 154 episodes of the often comically melodramatic ABC After School specials, it took some serious legwork to find a few worthy of discussing. And even then, we know there are many dozens of other episodes worth perusal. But besides our potential return to this topic in the future, we were more concerned with trying to answer the question we posed at the beginning. What made these specials so unforgettable? Well, if you couldn't tell, for me it was largely the unintended comedic effect, though I'm not so blind as to completely ignore the merits of certain episodes. Though I have vague memories of watching a few of these as a kid, I'm pretty sure I mostly avoided them knowing they were trying to teach me some moral lesson. Listen, buddy, I just got home from school. I'm done learning for the day. What about you? Did you watch these as a kid? Did you enjoy them or switch the channel as soon as you saw one of them was about to air? I would love to hear about it down in the comments. And if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate Yesteryear, right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.